Hey, what is up guys? It's Galaxy Tech Dartwood here, back again in the new year. Happy New Year guys. With a Metalfoes Deck update for you guys. So yeah, there's been a couple of changes since the last time. Been looking at different lists, been looking at like I took a look at Billy Break's list, although I respect his decision to not run GoFu, but I personally prefer running it. Anyway, getting into the build, I'm running standard 15 Metalfoes, so 3 Volflame, 3 Gold Driver, 3 copies of Silver, 3 copies of Steelen, and 3 copies of Bismugear. So these all basically do the same thing in when they're in scale. They pop another face-up card to set a Metalfoes spell trap directly from your deck. And Bismugear gets a search if it's destroyed destroyed on the field during the end phase. So yeah. I think these are like really straightforward. So yeah. Then playing 3 copies of Arch Phoenix Centric. So these are mainly here for that Billy Break mentality of setting your combination from deck and then using this, popping the combination with this, and then getting an extra search for a Metalfoes scale. Because like your optimal hand is getting as many Metalfoes as possible, so why not run this? I was thinking about running Tour Guide in order to get one of these from deck as a anti-spell out, but ultimately I decided not to. So yeah. Then playing 3 copies of Magispector Raccoon because you want to search that one Kirin that you have, because this card is just very good. It should, in my opinion, it should be banned, but as long as it's not, I'm going to use it, and people are going to use it. Then playing 1 copy of Lost the Pendulum for our last Pendulum monster. This card helps further plays, although other than having its effect in scale, it doesn't serve that much purpose, but I'll get onto that later. Then playing 3 copies of GoFu because I just feel this card is too necessary. Being able to make things like Omega, recycle your Metalfoes counters, and getting things back from your Desires mill is just very good. So, and also the 2 tokens just really work, because the tokens work to make your Alcahest live because they are technically treated as normal monsters, and also the fact that the tokens just serve as free targets for your Metalfoes scales. So yeah. Then lastly for monsters, 1 copy of Rescue Rabbit to round that off, because this you just normal summon this card, make a rank 4 or a rank 3, and pop an anti-spell out or something. So yeah. Then for the spells, running 2 copies of Painful Decision. I was thinking about running 3, but ultimately I decided to drop down to 2 because it just clogged a bit. I was thinking of running 3 because of Pot of Desires, and this is an important card, but yeah. Then, of course, 2 Pot of Desires because, you want to... It's basically Pot of Greed with a hefty cost, so yeah. Then 2 copies of MST because you want to out back row, and also this just serves as an extra card to pop your own combination and get an extra search. But yeah, this and Eccentric also help to just out your opponent's back row. So yeah. Then I'm running 2 copies of Full Metalfoes Fusion because I just find an extra one is very useful and very necessary. Then lastly for spells, 1 Metalfoes Fusion because it's Metalfoes, you want to run this. It recycles, gives you an extra draw. Funniest thing is always shuffling it back into your deck and drawing it. So then for the traps, they're very straightforward. 1 copy of Combination, 1 counter, 1 emptiness, and 1 warning. So these 2, these are self-explanatory. Most people know what these do. Counter is you set this so that during your opponent's turn, if they knock out one of your monsters, or during your turn, if you just destroy one of your cards with a Metalfoes scale, you get a Metalfoes directly from deck, and this card can recycle scales by banishing it from grave. And Combination just gets you an extra search and also furthers your plays when you fusion summon things. So yeah. So moving on to the extra deck, I'm playing I feel this is very standard at the moment. I'm playing 3 copies of Mithrilium because this card is just insanely good. Just being able to bounce anything back to hand and recycle your Metalfoes cards from grave. So you basically reload your deck with all your Metalfoes targets. And also things like you can also reload your deck with things with the cards sent to the graveyard by Painful Decision, all that. And also, you can just use this to bounce your own Metalfoes fusion to poke for, so that you can further your own plays for game. You know, just bounce any problematic cards, or just bounce scales, so your own scales, so that you can use the effect again to get an extra pop. And the fact that this floats into another Metalfoes monster is really good. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't be cutting that down anytime soon. I can't remember how many I was running in the last build, but I'm only running one Alcahest because I only ever make one and I recycle it a lot. So yeah, I don't think any more than one is necessary. I'm playing one Orichalc and one Adamant as well, because Orichalc is just a very great double piercer. It just helps you push for game, and Adamant is also, it's just a 25 beta, and also it's a normal monster, so you can full Metalfoes into Alcahest if this is the only thing you can make, and then you want to go for Alcahest main phase 2 or something, then, you know, why not? Then lastly, for fusions, I'm actually running one Dinoster, so this is getting back to the Luster Pendulum thing. So, of course, I am also running one Ignister, but basically, as far as I'm concerned, my mentality is that Luster Pendulum is useless unless it is in your scale, because 9 times out of 10, if you're going to make Ignister, it's probably going to be with a Gofu, so this is going to sit here having no use, because you can't fuse this with your Metalfoes fusion, because it can only be used for a Draco Slayer Xyz monster. So once it's out of scale, it has no use. So making Dinoster you can make Dinoster with this and any pendulum monster that you have, which not only protects your scales but protects your monsters from destruction. So, and given Twin Twister is one of this deck's biggest weaknesses, in my opinion at least, I feel that Dinoster is very good. It doesn't come out all that often, but I have made it 1 or 2 times, and it's been very useful when in setting up a nice board. So yeah, that's my mentality for it. So yeah, of course, one Ignister, one Scrap Dragon, because this card, pop your own combination, pop your opponent's card, which is very good. One Void Ogre, because it's a very good card as well, just jamming up your opponent's plays as long as you've got no cards in your hand. One Omega, I don't think I need to say anything about this. It's just one of the best level 8 synchros in the game at the moment. So yeah. Then finally moving on to the Xyz monsters, playing one copy of Utopia the Lightning and one Utopia to pair with it. Then one Breaksword and one Grand Pulse to round those off. So I'm not really running any other rank 4s at the moment, I just don't feel they're necessary. Although a Castell might be nice, maybe. I'm not sure, only time will tell. But Grand Pulse is very good to just out back row and Breaksword, pop your own combination, pop your opponent's card. You know, it's very good. So yeah guys, that just about brings me to the end of the deck profile. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Peace out.